Okay, so in this video, what we'll be doing is creating a Rick and Morty portal that I created in my last scene, and we'll do some improvements to it. It's a short video just to create one of these assets or elements, models. So we'll just create this little portal gun really quick, show you how to do it. Let's get started. So we need a new scene. Generally, don't save. Okay, I'm going to just delete all these items, so we just have an empty scene, nothing in there. Let's get started. So let's start with a circle. Okay, go to edit mode and then just press F to fill that. I'll grab that knife tool. I want to chop it in half. So I want to go from this vertex to this vertex, and then just choose faces and then just delete half. Delete half the face right there. Cool. I want to rotate this. Maybe make sure that's on select box. Rotate this. It's standing up. There we go. We take it all again. We go back into edit mode. We select the face and we extrude out. And what I'll do is just select this face here. Let's look at it from the top. We can choose how much we want. See, I'll say this is good a lot. Let's take a look. Yeah, let's do 2 by 2. So two blocks, like 2 big blocks. That'll do. Okay, so pretty much got it covered. And now I'm gonna extrude out again. We'll extrude once, and then I'll extrude again. This is where the little panel will go, and then we'll extrude again to the end. Now you can choose how long you want this portal gun to be. What we can do is as well, go into edge mode, choose that bottom edge, and just push this back position. You might want to go to the side view so you don't mess it up like I did. It was all wonky, but there you go. So now that's slant. Okay, select the face of that. I'm going to do an inset face. There we go. And we're going to extrude inwards. And I really want to go along the normal, but I'm not sure why it's going that way. But what I'm going to do is just hit E. Let me put the glow back on. So E, I'll right click and then push it back. We could adjust that later. It's going inwards. Oh, somehow we managed to skew it. So let me undo. I don't know how we've done that. Control Z. Let's see. There we go. Oh, I must have shifted it along the x-axis. Make sure the Y is selected. There we go. It's fine now. Just repeat those processes again. So select the front face, inset face. So nice little frame there. And I'll select the move tool. I'm going to press E to extrude, right click, and then push that back. Looking good. Okay, so let's put in the little panel. Let's do an inset face as well. Yeah. Now we extrude that down. Inset face again if you want. I'm going to just add the tiny. And then extrude it down. Gonna have a nice panel in there. If you want that little panel to be bigger, you can do that if you want. So, others, just look at it from the top down. Show them in edit mode. And just get those vertices selected. So I could I'll just change that position. Just bring this forward. Yeah. Slightly bigger. Looking good. Now I want to add the button, so a little button on the back here. Just maybe just get the loop cut, select this, change the number of cuts to 2, choose a scale, tighten this up, something like this. That looks good. And then we'll select the faces that we want, so make sure we're in faces. So I want, say, this face, these faces here. What we're going to do, just insert. Okay. Then we're going to extrude in, at the insert. And then we could extrude out, and then one more insert. Just fix that insert, and then I'll just add a little indent in there. Just add a little bit of detail, not too much. Still low poly. And what we can do is we can round these edges off maybe. So you know, we could select the edges of this and bevel it. Select those. Oh. Make sure I'm just selecting the ones we need. So do the inside of this as well. And then right click, bevel edges. Okay, increase that segment. Okay. That looks nice. Increase that count a little bit. So you have the button, and then we've got the little panel, and we've got the body kind of built already. So I'm going to just go to top view, and I want to position this so it's center of the grid. So if I turn on the view wireframe, I'll just kind of position this back a bit. Somewhere around here, just to center it a bit more. And I'm gonna go here, object, set transformation to geometry. Make sure I have it selected. Origin to geometry, or to, let's see, center of mass. Okay, there you go. Just go to top view again. Just want to align that. Okay, looking good. Okay, so let's add in the little torus. So add mesh torus. Now my torus I have like 48 by 12. You can change those settings if you want. Kind of like that as it is. Gonna just chop half of it off. We don't need it all. Just going to X-ray mode so we can see both sides of it. Make sure the faces are selected. And chop the bottom half off the torus. Chop. Bam. Goodbye. And we can scale this up later, or you know, and toggle the figure, the X-ray off. Let's smoothen that torus out. So just right click, shade smooth. So we also need mesh. We need a UV sphere. We're going to use. Mine's 32 by 16, and we're going to go into side view, and we're going to turn the X-ray on. And we're going to edit mode, and we're going to chop half of it off, chop the bottom half, and faces, turn, just chopped it off. Okay, shift this up, and again, you can choose how high you want this. This is going to be our glass tube. Go into edit mode, select the edges along the bottom, so Alt and now click, so select the whole loop. Now we're going to extrude down. There you go. So it just sits inside. Turn the toggle off the X-ray. There you go. Right click this. Shade smooth. That looks nice and smooth. Cool. It's looking good. Got a button. We could probably. I'll leave it like that. this way. Therefore, that colour probably look anyway. And now let's have the little pieces at the front. So let's just we'll create one, and then later on we'll duplicate it anyway. Or we can just use an array. So let's use. What should we use? Let's use a sphere as well. Do the sphere, not the ISO. Let's do the UV one. UV sphere. Again. Move this forward. I'm gonna go in X-ray mode. See both sides. Edit mode. Chop it in half. So select half the faces. Bam. Something like this. It allows me to select half the faces. Okay. Select half the faces. I was selecting edges, that's my mistake. Just delete that out. Okay. So I'm going to squish this. These are along the y-axis, so it's just nice. It's not flat, but you got kind of this dome shape. Okay. Go back into edge mode. Select that loop. Okay. Go press E. Right click and then scale out. Yes. We have this little lip thing, and then I'll do E again. Oh, and then scale out. There we go. And then extrude out by pushing it back. Now you can choose how far you want to do it. We don't need the back faces on that. So I'll take the X-ray off, you can see there. Scale this down. What we're going to do is shade smooth. Now it's a bit too soft here on this edge. So I'm just going to go into edit mode. We could bevel this edge perhaps. Let's try to bevel this edge. Yeah. Just reduce the segments. That's a little bit sharper. It's nice. You can play around with that scale till you're happy with the way it looks. I'm just going to scale it down a tiny bit smaller because we're going to have to fit another two in here. And what I'll do is just position it for now to the left. Okay. So we have that in place, and we can push this in a tiny bit back. Not too far, doesn't need to go too far. There we go. Now the handle itself, let's make the handle kind of really simple geometry. So we just do cube, scale this down about here. I'm going to position it in the object like this. Okay. We're going to go into our edit mode, select our face, we're going to extrude down. Only need like about 4. Make sure you don't go like wonky, so maybe go to side view, and then there we go. So we've got about 4 slices in that. So what you can do is now go to your modifiers, add a subdivide. Subdivide. There we go. So now you get almost like this round handle. I'm going to change my level viewport because I'm not rendering it. I'm going to be using eevee anyway. So just focus on the level viewport here. And then what I'm going to do is just select the loops, the edge loops, all the faces, doesn't matter to be honest. So you can select that, you know, the bottom one, push it in to tighten that. Select this loop here, and I get this curve going on, and then this loop here gets nice and thin. And let's just push this back in. there. Select this loop. There we go. And you can select all those and then just rotate on that axis. So you're happy with that? Let's take a look. Kind of happy with that. And it looks a bit very sharp, so all you have to do is just smooth shade and it'll look. But maybe that bottom bit there. I'll select that face. Kind of messed it up a tiny bit. I'll just bring this down a tiny bit, scale it. This is a bit more rounded. And then I'll select this top loop, scale it up. Yeah, there we go. So now we've got the handle, we've got the bottom, we've got the glass tube, got the little beam, I don't know, laser thing that will come out the front. That shoots the portal. Now we'll start putting some materials. Actually, before we do that, let's create the little thing, green blob inside. So mesh. I'll just use a UV sphere. Scale that down. Add a modifier. I'll do a displace. New texture. Go to my textures. I'll just go here and then I'll choose something like one of the noise. You can choose the noise, for example, if you want, or whatever you want. Clouds, distorted noise, woods, Musgrave, whatever you want, to be honest. And then you can just play around with those settings to get what effect you want. You can even animate these if you wanted. Let's see. That kind of looks cool. If you want, you can smooth shade that as well. Then we want some little sparks coming off. So, I mean, you could do is you could just easily go in here, perhaps, and then select a few faces. We can see what happens anyway. And extrude out. So E and then S. Then I'll do ES. Oh, please do ES. Okay. And I'll just position these. Maybe we'll see what the noise does for me. There we go. So you can extend that out, make it a bit more crazy. And then if you want, you can add in some more detail. Just keeping it really simple. Okay, so now the fun part. Let's just put some materials on here. We're all done. Really simple tutorial. Not really tutorial, it's just something I can make it better go along. Right, so materials. New material. I'm gonna name this metal 1. I'll just make that glossy PDF. Go for the grayish. Let's turn on our preview here. You might want to turn on some of these settings. So I'm going to turn the ambient occlusion on, the screen-based reflections on. Might want to increase the shadows for this to make it look nicer. I'll just go to 48, the depth, and this will be fine for now. I'll click here, just uncheck scene world, and then you can choose a different scene. This will do for now. Okay, we might want to name some things, so rename these because right now they have no names. So I'm just going to name this circle down body and glass. So it's the wireframe. I don't know, green blob, whatever you want really. It's good to name your items. Laser beam. I call that ring. and handle. There we go. So now everything's named. We clearly know what everything is. Cool. So we can adjust this. This is way too dark. So we'll change that color right in it, tiny bit. Apply the same material to the handle and the ring. Now the body on this one, and I add another material to stack another material. So new, and this one will be a mission red. So mission, I will make this red, reddish. Tweak it after. We want to apply it to this face, so just go into edit, select that face, these faces here. That's what our little number plate would be. Assign that material. That nice little glow going on. And let's also color in the button. So right now the button doesn't have its own color. So let's add another material. New. You can name these as well. Name the material. So red. I'll just call it red E for mission, and it's gonna be black. So just call it black. And I'm gonna go for specular on this one. Choose specular. Just change it to black. Okay. And again, I'll select these faces. I'm gonna just Control and plus just to select the button. There we go. Let's get that bevel and assign. There you go. So you got like a two-tone. It's really hard to see, so you might want to change that roughness. Maybe make this more glossy, and then make it the metal a bit more rough. Entirely up to you. Cool. Let's go into our settings, and you can increase that viewport if you want. You can increase those. Or something like 512. Increase that resolution. So the glass. Actually, before we do, let's do this. So really easy. Apply the gunmetal again. Metal. So we've got this nice grey for that. And then we want to hit edit mode. We want to add a new material. New mission. Change this to the mission. We're gonna make this green E. We can reuse this for the blob later, and then give it green. Go and just select the front part of the sphere. So just go and select that. So I have that all selected. Oh, probably a better way is select center vertices, let it go out like that, and then switch back to faces. There we go. Now we've got the whole sphere, and then select that and assign. Now I did that, that's why I didn't duplicate, because I don't want to repeat the material on 3 different things. But now I can go add modify if I want, for example, and then just do an array 3 and just drag that view to space it out. So you're happy with that? Oh, that'll do. Looks kind of cool. And then if you want to play around with the strength of that emission, you can play around with that. Choose how bright or dark, how light that is. Or, anyway, the same goes for the red emission. If you want to change the strength, you bump that up. But anyway, it's entirely up to you. Okay, so let's add the glass. Before we do the glass, let's move this up. And let's just check, let's just apply that green emission to this little blob thing. Yeah, smooth shade there if you want. Doesn't really matter, it's emission. I'll place the glass tube back down. Okay, so just hit new. Let's go to our shading. what we want to do is we want to create like a glass, almost like a glass shader. I'm just going to delete this BSDF, and then I'm going to add the glass BSDF. Got 2 of these, and another one, glass. So we've got 2. We need a mixed shader. We're gonna need a Fresnel, and we're gonna need an RGB curve. So Fresnel and a RGB curves. Let's position these. See, I'm gonna put this mix shader here. So my mix shader will go to my surface. Okay. And then one glass will go into the shader here. The other glass goes to the other shader. This RGB curves color goes into the vector. And the vector of this will go into the color. So the Fresnel vector will go into there. And we'll just add a curve on here. You can play around with this later. I'm going to change this to 0 for now on the Fresnel. And then you can tweak the materials. So maybe 1.5. Let's start with 1.5. Oh, 1.5. Okay. So if we go back to our layout, right now it's not transparent. Make sure the blend mode you have alpha hashed, and then turn this off. Was it this? Oh, sorry, this or this? I can't remember. I believe it's this and this, and go to hue and change refraction on. Check refraction on in the render scenes. Change that on. You go back onto our material, click on the shaders, and then you can tweak how much refraction, or like, you know, the glass. Let's say 0.3, and on this one, let's see what happens. Let's bring this down. 9 looks kind of nice. Maybe we want some roughness there. We can do some roughness on the eevee outer one. I don't want to see too much detail, but it looks kind of cool. Actually, what I'll do, I feel that this is quite big, so I'm just going to select the ring and the globs and just scale it down slightly. Okay. I'm going to tweak my ambient occlusion, so I'll just increase that distance a bit more. Nice little shadows in the corners. Bring this up. Let's go into the side view. Sitting too low into it. There we go. It's looking pretty cool. If you want, you can add some text on there. So maybe let's just add some text, and I want to rotate this round at 180 on the z-axis. You know, text properties here, and just say center text, center. We'll go to geometry and extrude this. Bring this up. And you can put in whatever text you want. Just by tab and put some random digits in there, whatever you want really. Be a year, and if you want, you could add a mission material to that, so you could create a new mission. A bit of a nice little glow. There you go. perhaps just scale this down a tiny bit. Now you can play around with the overall lighting look, you know. You can uncheck that, and that's just the emission lighting. And then we're going to say add off. Actually, just select all of this. I'll just bring it up. Okay, so and just add a floor or something like a plane. Scale this. So that's nice and big. And then you could add some lights in here if you wanted, or that's up to you. I'll just drop a white light in there, right there. And crystal power, I don't know, 2000 watts. We can go down if it's too bright. Right now it's black because there's nothing actually to there's nothing there for it to reflect on because we turned the environment on. Let's just turn it on. Okay. And so you can play around adding the lights in here if you wanted. Maybe you want to stick a light, a pointing light in the front, and maybe turn that green. You know, make it add a bit more glow there, and you can duplicate that light, one inside the tube, make it look a bit more cool. Yeah. And then we would do one more, another light, duplicate that, turn this one red. Yeah. So like some point lights with the object. Just looks a bit nicer. What else can we do? Let's set the camera, finish off. Camera. Do a split view right now. Vertical split view. Right, move that camera up. So in this one we'll just 0. Let's turn off these extra stuff. Point the camera towards the object of our portal gun. Okay. Oh, let's scale it. I did that. Okay. I'll just position this. It's nothing fancy, to be honest. Rotate this. Get a view like, I don't know. Once you're happy with that, you can change that. Maybe you want to go orthographic, I don't know. You could try an orthographic view. Yeah. Perhaps we'll do an orthographic view for this. Let's put material on this plane from the bottom. And then we can go here, we can change the environment, see which one you like. Some are darker, but then the glow stands out more. And so it's really up to you the look you want. I kind of like this, it's kind of looking cool. Perhaps I'll go for a glossy PDF for the floor and change that to bluish. But yeah, hopefully that was useful. Just a little video how I created some of the assets and elements. Yeah. And the Rick and Morty scene that I was learning. But yeah, it's not really detailed, but it does the job. Thank you again. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be good to each other. Bye bye.